Hi everyone, welcome back to JP WHU TV. My name is John, your host as always. Bit of a surprise one here. I thought I'd get on Adam Jessop, who you guys have seen on West Ham Fan TV, the man who loves to complain quite a fair bit. Ads, so it was finally after 97 minutes, 3-0. What are your thoughts on the game, mate?
I've said in the last few weeks, I'm not really surprised by it. I had a ticket for today's game, funnily enough. I could have gone. My old man took it. He's a diehard West Ham fan like I am, hence why I'm a West Ham fan. So he took the ticket and he went up and he did the dangerous journey in my eyes. And we got punished from the starting 11 again. I'm more disappointed today. I'm not angry. I'm disappointed because Burnley's a tough place to go. By the looks of it, I know there's been injuries in the game or whatever. I've been following everything, but we haven't. It looks like we even haven't made it hard for them or anything, and they're struggling inside at the moment. Burnley. I don't really know where we go from it, to be honest, mate. It's not a good one.
Yeah, I know. Lost 3 games on the bounce, and then we turn up. Now, I know. Do you know? I've tried, and you know it from the conversations that we've had over the last few weeks. I've really tried to defend Roberto over the last few weeks. There's a couple of games where he did nothing wrong, not much, but there has been times. But for him to, he made some good saves today. He really did. But at the same point, there's question marks on him over all 3 goals. Not just because the third one is down as a Roberto own goal itself, but there's really is question marks over it. How are you feeling about Roberto?
Well, he's not a good goalkeeper. I think we can clearly see that, whether that's lack of confidence or generally his ability. But one thing you have to point back to is Pellegrini's got a man on top of it, which is Husillos, who's the guy who's meant to be scouting these players. Now, if this guy was meant to be a decent backup for Adrian, who obviously we're missing now in this current situation with Fabianski being injured, the question mark's got to lie with him as well, because he's clearly not be good enough. And I'm not sure what this guy David Martin's like that we got from Millwall, obviously, but he can't be any worse than what we've had at the moment over the last few weeks. Like last week against Newcastle, funnily enough, like obviously he was down for probably 2 of the 3 of the goals, and again he's at fault again today. But last week I didn't really continue to want to criticise him because he kept us in the game last week at times as well.
Yeah.
But this week, by the looks of it, it's gone off the ball now, and someone needs to be changed. But no, definitely, it's not just his ability, but just generally, like, it goes down to the top above the manager with Husillos. The scouting hasn't been good enough this summer. You look at Fornals again. I'm going to start questioning him now as well. He's another foreigner now that's coming. Granted, it takes time to come into this league, but he's obviously not with the pace of the game at the moment. He started today, and I haven't heard anyone say how good he's been. Obviously, I haven't been in the game. I'm not going to call names out, but it's quite concerning that. It was the same thing that happened when we first moved into the stadium, where we were getting players on free transfers, funnily enough, and they weren't good enough. And we offloaded a lot of them. And the same sort of thing happens again. We've got a Jesse, we've got Fornals, we've got Roberto. They're not good enough. And it's a mixture of both the manager and the personnel that we're recruiting, because it's not good enough.
Well, I know what you mean, mate, but to counteract that, Fornals had the massive, very, very good. What was it in the summer? The under 21s European European tournament, played out of his skin. I know what you mean, but I don't think Husillos is solely to blame, like a lot of people are saying, and you kind of seem to be intimating at the same point. Reason being is because he's identified players that were playing very well over the last few seasons and has recommended them bringing them in. Now, there is a good argument, of course, but because the only player that's been brought in this summer that's played well and has hit the ground running is Allaire. That's it. There's nobody else. But at the same point, should we be holding everybody else accountable because of one player that steps up to the mark? Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like
I do get what you mean. But again, with the same thing, it's the system that's not working as well. That's the other problem. Because you say Haller's been the only player that's really been good, But for me, I think a lot of fans will agree. He's obviously lacking confidence at the moment. I don't really think he's had a good performance since Norwich. You
Yeah,
saw Crystal
great.
Palace, the game. The game. I'm pretty sure Haller scored against Palace, didn't he?
Uh,
But
yes.
yeah, he did. But even before his goal, he did miss 2 or 3 chances that probably last year at his old club, Frankfurt, he put in the back of the net. So it's definitely the shape we were playing, and it's another loss today where we've changed a couple of players in the positions, but it's the same formation. Now, a lot of managers, when you lose a few games at that level, when they're getting paid the amount of money they're getting paid, you'd think that they have the knowledge to have a cut plan.
Yeah.
But
Great.
I don't think there is, because when we play, I think Nicky said to me in an interview outside the ground after Sheffield United when I moaned about the lineup, and he said the same thing as well after the game last week against Newcastle, that the lineups we're playing at home are reluctant, as if we're not going at teams, and then when we play away, we sort of start playing these tippy-tappy players that aren't going to cut out for an away game. And I don't really know what his ideas are when we go. I look at the lineup today and I think, okay, well, who's playing where? Because Snodgrass is a central midfield player in my eyes nowadays. He has a good whip on him, but as a wide player in the Premier League, you need to have a bit of energy and a bit of flair, a bit of pace. I don't think he's got that. And I'm looking at the other shape as well. I'm thinking, well, who's going to get up front with that? Haller to support him? I don't see it. I don't see it. Rice and Noble, well and good, they worked together last year, but it only takes to a time where teams find out how we play, and there needs to be another solution to just Rice and Noble sit in the middle and then letting these players do the work. Because let's be frankly honest, it's not working. We're getting stuffed out. We're not scoring goals. We're leaking loads as well. It's underlying problems at the moment, mate.
Yeah, and it's only been
Major
made
problem.
worse, mate, bearing in mind that Lanzini was stretched off from
Yeah,
his
and
injury, and
Noble's gone off
also
as well. Yeah.
exactly, yeah, we're down to the
Yeah.
bare bones. So, from one point of view, is this the time to bring in Coventry and Holland?
Well, I've been wanting Holland to be on the bench for a while, and I think let's be honest, Sanchez is a waste of space when he's been on the bench for the last couple of weeks. I don't think he was on the bench today, but the last few weeks he had. Why not give Connor Coventry a shout? It's the same when we had Cullen knocking around the 11 when we had him before he's gone out on loan to Charlton. These youngsters will thrive on opportunities. They want to play for the badge, and if you have someone like that on the pitch who wants to prove himself, then why not? You can't be any worse than what we've got at the moment when we're not picking up results. I think the key thing is now that international breaks come now, because we've obviously got Antonio coming back potentially from his injury that he had. But again, that goes to the manager again. I don't really think he needed to play him against Newport in the game he got injured, but that's another story, another thing to argue about. But him coming back is another option. But yeah, definitely have to have a look at a few of the youngsters, because they can't be any worse than what we're playing at the moment. It's the same thing with that youngster we got from Portugal in the summer. I can't figure his name on the top of my head right now. The young lad they got from the Portuguese league, but he can't be any
The
worse than what
defender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can't be any worse than what we've got at the back at the moment. We're not keeping a clean sheet to save our life. We're not. We're leaking goals left, right, centre at the moment. Set pieces, major problem. And I spoke to that with you earlier. We haven't kept it. We every time they get a set piece, the opposition, we look like we're going to concede every time. It's not good, especially at this level, because the only way at the moment we're going is down the table. And I've said that for a few weeks now.
Yeah,
I don't know what your thoughts on that is, but yeah.
I'm glad that Zabaleta was dropped and Fredericks came in.
Yeah.
Issues with Fornals. I mean, this is the problem with Lanzini and Noble out potentially. And we'll obviously have to find out in a few days' time. I mean, it's clear that Lanzini is going to be out for a while. Noble maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. We'll find out. But you're absolutely right. We've got Sanchez and Antonio to introduce into the mix, and that worries me. Bearing in mind we've got Spurs at home and then we've got Chelsea away. That really worries me for the end of the month run. Really worried. So, what would you do for the Spurs game, mate? What starting 11 would you put out?
Spurs game, there has to be something that's got to change. They can't keep the same shape. I think when we played Tottenham in the past, we seem to step up against them. And I think sometimes we play a formation that might catch him off guard as such. Personally, it's very negative at home, but because we're not picking up results at the moment, 5 at the back could actually be an option because we might snuff them out. We played 5 at the back. I think was under David Moyes when we were struggling down the table a couple of years or a year or so ago. We started playing 5 at the back, and we actually got a few results at home. So I wouldn't be surprised if we try something like that. Antonio at wing back could be an option because I think you work hard. But we just got to compact the middle of the park because Tottenham have definitely got better midfield players than us. And if we try and play nice, pretty football, we'll even on their bad form, we'll get outclassed by them. They're definitely better in opposition than us. But no, 5 at the back for me. It may sound very negative, but it's different to what we've been playing at recently, and something definitely needs to change in terms of result. A point against Tottenham right now, I'd take right now if I'm honest with you.
So I'll take it your back three, obviously having Antonio and what Masuaku as wing backs, or would you put in Creswell?
Masuaku, I was very, very pissed off. I'll be honest with you after his Oxford performance, but would you put him in that game? I don't know. I think Creswell has to get the nod. I think Creswell hasn't really done anything too bad.
He was right today, to be fair to him. He did pretty well. He was one of the few players out there that did play well.
Yeah. But the only down obviously playing 5 at the back is obviously the sport with Haller, but I don't know, maybe a 5-3-2 or something. I don't know. Exactly. I've always thought about getting Yarmolenko up front, to be honest. I think he'd be a bit of an outlet up front. I saw someone mentioning your stream earlier about put Anderson up top, but Anderson's like a Yeti. He won't hold the ball up. He's not a player that wants the ball with his back to goal, is he? So, no, I think Yarmolenko would be the obvious choice if you're going to play someone up front. Or obviously Antonio could do that as well. Frederic's a right wing back. There is options to be had, but if the manager doesn't change the shape, it just minuses like all the options that he's got. Like he's putting them to one side. He's not even looking at them. So I don't know. What I want to ask you is, and it's been asked a lot recently, £8 million a year for that manager. Is he really cutting out right now? And it's funny. It's a question you can laugh at, but we've had managers here that have been just as bad, and they haven't been backed as much by the board. You can't moan at the board in this one. If I'm honest with you, for me, like, it's a management problem.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but that's my opinion.
No, agreed, mate. At the end of the day, what I always say about a 90 minutes is 10% of it is what the manager puts out. Simple as. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, the interesting thing, I know there was an article came out recently saying that the board are backing Pellegrini until the end of his contract. So we've got, was it just a year and 18 months, give or take?
Yeah.
Right. Thing is, we will see that in January if that's going to happen or not, because Pellegrini came out in his pre-match conference for Newcastle, said that they're looking at midfielders and they're looking at strikers to potentially come in January. Now, the quality of them, granted, January's a very, very difficult time to buy anyway, because that's when they are massively overinflated prices. But the quality that comes in or doesn't come in January will be the real indication of what the board want to do with Pellegrini for the next 18 months. That's my personal opinion on it. Yeah. Because I'm not a Pellegrini out guy in any shape or form. I guarantee you, Mitchell's spitting feathers at the minute. We're really interested to see what he's got to say. And I get it. I understand it. I'm not. I don't think we're not in a position to panic. Yes, okay, we're 5 points clear of the relegation zone at the moment, but we're only 12 games in, so I'm not worried from that point of view. But if this continues, this poor performances week after week after week, which let's face it, if we don't start getting a draw soon, is only going to continue. Then there are questions being pointed at the manager, quite rightly so, because he's the one that's putting the players out. But more specifically, the 90% left of it is how the players are playing out there. I was talking to Baz before the game. I said, you don't put out the same team just because they played well the previous week. You put out a team to fight what's in front of them. We didn't put a physical enough team out there today, as far as I'm concerned. Massive questions were raised once again. Why? I understand why he bought him for now, because he needs the game time. It's the catch-22 with him at the minute. But at the same point, oops. But I'll continue talking in a minute. But at the same point, it's all down to what he's doing behind the scenes, and where we are going with it across the board. It's a massive worry for me, and unfortunately Adam's lost the signal there, so we'll try and keep talking for a little bit longer. Here we go, it's back in now. No, it's all right, mate, don't worry.
Public Wi-Fi for you.
But no, as I was saying, the 90% is the culpability of the players being out there. You know, it's just that there's good. I don't want to say Pellegrini out in any shape or form, but at the same point, as I said, you know, if we are going to be playing this badly, and he's not putting a squad out there that is going to fight against Spurs, that's going to fight against Chelsea, that's setting up for the Allardyce don't lose this game, which is, let's face it, that's what today's tactics were today with bringing the players in the starting 11 that was done today. We are massively going to struggle for, and we could well be in a relegation fight by January.
Yeah,
but I don't want it to be, because we've had we've had 8 years now of stability, and I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be thrown away because something's not being dealt with in the back room. This to me feels exactly the same problems that we had with Arnautovic before everything came public, because we were playing terrible football before Arnautovic came out, and we all found out what was going on. And the same thing's happening again. There's somebody in the back room. I don't know who it is. It could be Sullivan. Beefing up his position in the club again. It could be any number of the 24 players that we've got in there that is causing these problems. But there is something going on in the background that's making it poor football. It really is making it poor football.
Definitely, mate. Like, some things can't be stopped. Injuries like another. Like we touched on it already, Lanzini and Noble. But obviously you got to look at Fabianski.
Yeah.
Obviously we haven't won a game since Fabianski's gone. He was our player of the season last year. So that's the only thing I can really put to one side of the manager. Now, I'm happy for you. I'm glad that you're with the manager, because, like me, I lose my ball quite quickly. You know, when I want something, I want something changed. Sometimes not necessarily the best for the football club, but the only thing I would say is when you're paying a manager £8 million, this is my opinion, when you're paying a manager £8 million a year, if he gets you relegated, would you rather just sack him off and pay him out and get a cheaper manager in? Because it could, honestly, but the Premier League now, the amount of money that's in the league, not that I agree with it, but if you get relegated, the amount of club revenue that you lose is ridiculous. The last thing I want is to have West Ham playing at that stadium in the Championship. How the most embarrassing thing that could happen for this football club. Now, if I think there's something going wrong, I'd want it sorted out before it's too late. That's the only reason why I'm not with the manager right now. And I hope he proves me wrong. I was hoping today we'd get a positive result. Obviously, it hasn't happened. We've been battered today, obviously. But it could be the same old West Ham, come up against your London rivals and you get the result. And it could all, the next minute, they're all happy again. Football's a funny game. We were playing Crystal Palace. We didn't play great against them, but we were winning 1-0 and moving up to 4th or 5th in the league. Next minute, though, we've lost every game since then. We're out the cup, and we're only 5 points off relegation. It's funny as hell, but you got to stick with it. Like I'll be going to the game next week. I bottled it today. If I'm honest with you, I didn't fancy it because my reason of not going today was I don't think the players would be up for it. So why should I be up for it? Now I'm never usually like that as a fan, but that was my opinion why I didn't go to today's game. So I'm hoping next week they prove me wrong. They put in a good performance, and then I'll be at the Chelsea game as well. So I hope they do the same. But there needs to be some improvement, and that comes from the manager. And like I said, you said the whole Arnautovic thing, there was something that was obviously going on in the background. It was the same with the Pyatt situation as well. When Pyatt was at our club in that first season at the new ground, there could be something going in the background as well. But we're asking questions there. The only thing I'm seeing is that at the moment is that the manager just needs to sort out his tactics. It all stems from there. If the manager gets the right team sheet out from the off, the whole mood around the ground, especially at home, would be much better. Would be more confident. I think I think again, it's all down to confidence football. It all is. I think we will be all right. I'm not going to say we're going to get relegated. I think we've got a better squad with a lot of teams down the bottom, and I'm hoping it's just a long blip. Like I said, the only thing I worry about is obviously we're on a bit of a bad run. We've got some hard fixtures coming up, and you know what the press is like when we lose a few games. They'll be on our backs, and that could affect the players. But we'll be there next week, and I'm hoping obviously for a more positive result like you are as well, mate.
Well, as I say, I mean, yeah, we've got with the international break, we've got 2 weeks to try and sort something out.
Yeah, of course, international break. Yeah,
I said it during the live broadcast that I hate to say that a performance will have to hinge on one or two players, but I honestly think if Noble isn't in the squad for the Spurs game, we've lost that.
No, I totally agree. I went to Spurs away last year, and he was the best player in the park. He was unbelievable when we played him. Him and Diop. Well, I remember that game. They were outstanding. It all stemmed from Noble. He was unbelievable that day, and I do honestly believe when Noble is not on his game, we are weak as a side. No matter what people say about that, we are, because there was times even in that season under Moyes at the end of the season, he was putting some unbelievable shit in the middle of the park.
Yeah,
Grinders out points. When the first couple of games this season, I believe he was injured, wasn't he? And he came in for Watford, and then look at Watford away. We won that one, and then we went on a little bit of a run. Noble, whatever many people say about Noble, he'll always be there knocking around and making an influence in the dressing room. And that's what worries me a little bit. When he's not playing well, no one's taking responsibility. Do you know what I mean? Like we can't just rely on one player. I think Rice needs to improve his game, but I think it's the same thing with Noble. If Noble's not in his game, he's not in his game either. So it does worry me. But like I say, we've got 2 weeks to sort this mess out. Yep. I'd love to hear what Pellegrini's got to say again. So
that's right. That's what I'm really worried about, mate. Is what Pellegrini's post-match interview is going to be. But guys, we'll wrap that up there. Just one final thing I want to say before Adam tries to get back in again is that the only player that's out there at the moment that can actually show a bit of fight. Actually, he's back in. Right. So it's all right.
I bought some from the girlfriend, obviously. My girlfriend's calling me. That was why I'm out.
Yeah, that's fine. But just two things. One, I'm not looking forward to seeing what Pellegrini says in the post-match interview, because you know what he's going to say. We didn't play well enough. We need to play better. All that condescending shit that's been coming out at the moment. And two, if Noble isn't in the squad for Spurs, the only person that's going to be in this there's two people that are going to be in the squad that know what a local derby means is Rice and Zabaleta. No one else on the pitch is going to really care about it. I know Creswell will probably come out saying he cares about it, and Snodgrass will, but
Snodgrass,
yeah. But Rice is the only other one in a London derby that really properly steps up. But Adam, as I say, mate, because you're going to get your collar felt in a minute, we'll wrap this up, guys. Thank you very much for your time, Adam. Thank you very much for your time in, mate. I'll drop you out of this now. All right, so.
Pleasure for having me on, mate. Pleasure for having me on. I appreciate it. Yeah.
No, you're welcome, mate. It's nice to get your views from longer than 2.5 minutes as well, for that matter. So I'll see you for the Spurs game, mate. All right.
Yeah. Take care, mate. Have a good one.
You too. See you later.
See you later.
But guys, thank you very much for your time on this. Apologies for the technical difficulties, but as you can see, Adam has been out on there. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, guys, of how you'll what you're thinking about what we're going to line up with the Spurs game. If you're new round here, welcome. Thank you very much for your time. If you like what I'm doing, then by all means, please click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you get to know when the new content is going up. As I say, if you like this video and feel I deserve it, then by all means, please click the like button. And if you don't like it, then please click the dislike button and click the let me know in the comment section why you don't like it. Final shout out to the channel sponsor 3retro.com. There's a link in the description below that will take you directly through to the West Ham section of their website, where you can purchase retro kits from the 60s all the way through to the early 2000s, including the 1976 home shirt that inspired this season's home kit, and also the 1980 FA Cup final shirt that inspired this season's that I'm wearing here now, the away shirt for this season. There's also Admiral and Umbro track jackets, polo shirts, sweatshirts and t-shirts, so go check those out. Any purchases made through the link in the description below, for the next 16 purchases, any commission the channel would normally get will go over to Isla's Fight. So thank you very much for your time, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And you will see me on Tuesday night for the preview of the England versus Montenegro game. And you will also, and obviously Thursday night, there will be a live stream on Facebook and Periscope discussing that game as it occurs. And likewise for the Kosovo away game as well, there'll be a preview going up on Friday. Be going up on Friday morning, and then obviously the reaction video will be going. The live stream will be going up on Sunday as well, if I remember correctly, when that game is. So thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Try and drown your sorrows, because I'm going to certainly try and do that now. And I will see you very, very soon. Well, I'll see you Monday night for the live roundup of the Fantasy League team for JPWHU TV table. So in the meantime, guys, have a good one.